In our country, we find that the youth have little to no opportunity. This program aims at targeting school leavers after matric who have good academic ability but no means of furthering themselves.
As a community, we expect young teenagers to try and decide the path of their life and their career choice. And you expect them to make a right choice, but the reality is they can only make a choice based on what they've seen and what they've been exposed to. So my expectation is that these youngsters, they come into the program, they get exposed to many various departments. I can liken it to we allow them to date departments and careers before actually settling down into one.
There's nothing worse than spending or wasting a year or two of money nobody can afford and studying something that you find out 2 years later you actually have no passion in doing it. This kind of program gives them a reach into about 9 different departments so that when they do make a career path choice, it's made with conviction. The thing that we would want to instill in them is confidence, direction. I would say 2 of the most important aspects. Besides the work experience and exposure program, the most important thing is confidence, direction. And of course, most importantly, I think, is inspiration.
Adjusting to new circumstances can be challenging. The P.I.Ts find themselves in a new environment, around new people, and a new way of conducting themselves in the business world. How quickly they adjust will determine how well they fit in.
My name is Tonique January. I am 20 years old.
Mikael Pieces from Woodville Road.
My name is Shirley Dickon. For me, I think one of the departments that I want to be in would be the quality control. I don't know, there's just something about it. It's working to see if everything's working properly and that everything's spick and span and it's good for people.
I love working with tools. I'm good at it. And I just want to learn more.
My name is Kyle Bronze. I'm from the Bluff, but I also schooled in Linton, so I move in between both.
My fear is like going on site and stuff like that because I don't really know how to, I've never worked on construction before. Like I said, I have no experience whatsoever, but I'm happy that this opportunity will help me to, open up. It's a lot of new challenges, so I'm putting myself out there, so it's going to make me become more outspoken and stuff. That's something that I really need help with.
Learning also the hands-on work, eager to learn how the working world works also. Yeah.
Look, based off my observations, they're young, they're just coming from school. You can see that they are quite withdrawn. But I do feel that they need to come out their shell. This is the working world. There's no teachers, there's no principal. It's just them and opportunity. My name is Devon Swartz, and I am a construction manager for DSES Projects Solutions.
In the beginning, I felt concerned. I felt like, why are we doing this? And having somebody to mentor, I just felt like it would have been a little bit overwhelming.
When I first heard, I now have to babysit or look after these P.I.Ts on top of having to run my department. I won't say I was annoyed, but it was a bit to take in. You understand? Given the stress that we face day to day in the working world, with deadlines, expected outcomes, and so on, being told I now have to have somebody that I need to babysit, okay, I'll be honest, it was a bit annoying to hear that.
To be honest, it feels like I have a child. Mainly because there's nothing wrong with it, but mainly because she asked a lot of questions. every 2 minutes. It's hectic. It's a lot of pressure because sometimes when we're not busy, you can't always keep someone entertained.
So because my position is more site-based, and what we do is always centered around physical behavior. You know, there's a physical aspect to being on site. It's a constant, you know, it's a constantly moving environment. All right, there's no time for relaxation. Yes, at times you will get that giggle and that laugh, but it requires a lot of proactive behavior and thinking. But it also requires, you know, guys who just really get out of their shell, you know, and blend in and form parts of the team. Because when you form parts of the team, you become a value-added component.
As weeks become months and everybody is more comfortable with each other, the program starts to yield positive results for each P.I.T. But it is not without its challenges and setbacks.
The reason why I'm not going to sites is because of my epilepsy. The doctor failed my medicals, and how it makes me feel is I feel disappointed because it's what I am struggling in. I always saw myself working with tools. I do feel it's a pause, and it is a challenge that I have to overcome. I don't ever give up on things. I learned that because of the way I am. I learned not to give up. I learned how to do things in my own way, how I'm comfortable in. I know how to weld, and I feel happy doing it. Yes, that's my dream, one of my dreams, one of my goals that I want to achieve. I want to have experience. When I first joined, I was shy, and now I'm getting used to the other employees, so I've changed.
What I can tell now is that it's been really fun and educational. I'll just say actually working in an office environment, having to see what it's like to meet new people and see how it works. When you see or hear about sites, you picture it something big. So being able to go there and see what actually happens, I'd say the overall experience being inside and seeing what actually is being done and seeing the physical work that gets put in, I feel like just everything in general I'm excited to see.
This P.I.T program is very good for bringing in youngsters into the business, the work, you know, because to create opportunities where they can learn, because we all have to start somewhere in the world, you know, because you go out many times, I go to apply for a position and a job, and then there's nobody, you don't have enough experience. So this is now a great opportunity for any young professional person to start learning, you know. Currently, I've got Carl with me. I find that he's a fast learner, and it also helps that they have some technical background, so he understands.
It's interesting. I find it interesting, and I enjoy it too. I'm busy with welding at the one tank. Well, both tanks are busy with welding. The one tank is welding up top, the other one is welding at the bottom. So like, just watching them how they do their processes and the steps they take. So like that's like mostly what we get to see, because like the other work is in the tank, the other work is on top. So like you just see mostly you see the guys in the bottom. I think we have to work it on site to understand what the company does. So like obviously you can work at the office without being there, but you'll have a better understanding if you're working on site. So I'd say maybe on site.
Yes, they've definitely grown up, that's for sure. they've grown up, they've come out that shell that I've mentioned. They're no longer resistant. Before they were very resistant, very reserved. You'd ask them for something and only if the other moves will they move. So they were sort of moving in a pack, but now with their confidence level, they can move on their own. And I think, the program thus far, I think it's worked quite well for them.
Okay, I'm the construction manager for DSS at Engine on Tag X101. Well, I was always in my experience in life, I've always encouraged this type of leadership type of stuff because it really helps these youngsters to get a sort of a view on life and what they want to do and how they want to do it. I think it gives them a very good look ahead in what they need to see as life, and coming to work in normal time, in times of working hours, and seeing what they can make a choice of what they need to do and how they need to do it. Well, I was very surprised at two young ladies so interested in engineering, and the way they went about their task. I was like, I'm listening to them, and I find it very encouraging that they can grasp the way they have grasped what they've been taught by all the other different sort of activities that we do within the office and on site. It's amazing how they remember stuff and what they've seen and how they equate it to the drawings and stuff like that. So they've done very well for my opinion.
After many weeks on site and at head office, the P.I.T program draws to a close. After overcoming challenges and setbacks, we reflect on how this program has impacted the lives of those involved.
It was good, a lot of things you can learn, see different working conditions, work with different people, meet new people.
Well, it's completed, so it's at least you completed something. It's always good to finish something that you start. We saw it through, but it's also bittersweet because it comes to an end. I don't want to work, but obviously studying is important.
I wouldn't change anything. I came here to learn. So for example, I did something wrong. I'm just learn from what I did wrong.
I didn't expect a position, but I was really grateful that I actually got one. Because nowadays it's very seldom you hear of someone getting employed after matric. I think it was a really good program, especially for obviously all the matrics that came out of school. I feel a bit more comfortable. At first I was very anxious because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But now that I have the knowledge, basic knowledge of what goes on and the position that I'm in, I feel like I'm more comfortable and I'm more relaxed because I understand how everything works now in the business.
I must say they really took very well, especially Shanley. We could see that she had something in her that was different to everybody else. So I think that's how these PITs work, right? I mean, as soon as you find out who has the acumen for what they want to go to, you can easily pick them up and then you can work with that.
I feel that it was a success because at the moment we have 2 employees due to this P.I.T program, and they are actually very good employees that are working very hard. I work with them personally.
Not all of them did fit in. Some didn't and some enjoyed it, and they did fit in. Everybody has their own personality. Not anybody and everybody can enjoy the same thing.
I feel that when they started, they were quiet, reserved, and I feel like when they ended, they were more confident. They were willing to participate in anything that we were doing in the office or on site, and I feel like it gives them that experience that they need to start the working world, going into the working world.
When the idea was discussed, it immediately piqued my interest because I have a passion for trying to develop the youth, especially those coming from underprivileged backgrounds and areas. Something I noticed amongst all of them as a common factor is that they're all very nervous. They all don't know what to expect. which is good. I would say, you need that fear that, we don't know where this is going to go, because when they do start encountering challenges and overcoming them, because we're going to give them the skills to overcome them, then it will build that confidence and boost their, so that even though they're going back to their homes or to a possible environment where there might be this limitation or whatever it is, in place, they at least have that confidence that I overcame a fear, today, or whatever the challenge might be for that day.
This is a DSES Project Solutions initiative, strengthening and upskilling the members of the less fortunate communities to achieve a brighter future together.